Hello, my fellow artists and friends, and Miss Kitty here, who's currently trying to escape my love. There she goes. To a video in which this is kind of a hot topic, opinionated thing I want to talk about. And of course, what we are going to talk about today is the sort of controversial topic of tracing within the world, specifically of painting, not of drawing itself. Now, the question I want to pose to you, and I want you to all kind of, think about this yourself as well as I kind of explain just my opinion to you and probably the thought of a lot of different other artists out there as well. Is it cheating if we trace our sketch before we paint? And before we even, deep dive into this question, let's break it down a little bit further. So as an artist, you probably already know that many times, I'd say about like 4 out of 5 times maybe, you'll want to sketch something on your paper or your canvas or whatever you're going to make a painting on. About 4 out of 5 times, you're going to want to make a sketch first. Okay, it's like a roadmap, it's like a blueprint, it's like a way for you to know how to apply your paint to the page. Now, there are some artists out there that can totally paint like amazing, beautiful scenery, landscapes, portraits, all the things without even needing to put down a sketch and pencil at all. And that's great for them as well. And just like how those people don't have to, actually sketch before they start painting, is that cheating? Because what I always learned in like my classes when I did take art classes in school is that, the world of art teaches us you need to know how to draw before you can paint. I think that's what a lot of, college level courses probably teach. And a lot of, painting classes might require as a prerequisite to take drawing before you actually take the painting a class or two. Again, within a school, I'm not talking about like community event centers or something, where you go to take like a one-time painting class. If you're in a school setting, a university setting, even high school or something like that, a lot of times you'll have to have drawing, the class of drawing, as a prerequisite, before you can actually take painting as a full class. So that's kind of where this idea of you need to know how to draw before you can paint comes into play. Now, personally, this is how I took classes for art when I was in school. And I will say it is very useful. It's a very useful skill, and I don't want to, counteract that or, discard that in any way. It is very, very useful to know how to draw either before you start painting or while you're learning how to painting, you're also learning how to draw. Or again, if you already know how to draw or you've already taken classes or courses or whatever to learn how to draw. Drawing itself is a very, very specific but separate skill from painting. All right, that's the thing that I kind of find myself as I continue just with my own painting practice, like over the years and over time, that I find that drawing and painting are two very, very different, very, very separate things. Which is why, and I want to say this also, as an artist, I have taken the drawing classes. I have taken the painting classes when I was in school, decades ago. I know, do I look like I'm that old to be saying decades ago? But with how I know I can draw everything. I know I can sketch everything that I need to paint. And I've been doing that. I did that for about maybe the first 5 years within my painting work that I was doing on my own outside of school. I would sketch everything by hand, freehanded, or I would use grid sketching method that I also learned when I was in school. I think it's a really, really useful tool to help you if you are someone who's learning, if you want to learn how to draw, if you want to learn how to sketch. Grid sketching is really, really great for that because you kind of break the picture down into section by section by section by section. I'm even showing you here how I actually teach this on my Canvas Academy learning platform for learning how to paint. I've also got a full course on how to learn to paint portraits, and part of that portrait course I do additionally teach students how to actually draw and sketch a portrait before you go on ahead and paint it. And the grid method is one of those methods. But another one of the methods that I also do teach on my Canvas Academy platform, and that I teach like just in general in life, like any students that I ever come across, is tracing. Because tracing, this is where the opinions come in. There is absolutely nothing wrong with tracing before you paint. Because like I said, drawing and painting are two completely different, separate skills. You might be really, really talented and really great and really well practiced and really feel comfortable with painting, but maybe drawing not so much. Personally, and like I said, I know how to draw because I've taken the classes, I've done it before, I've done the sketching and everything, but personally, drawing, I kind of loathe it. Drawing to me is so much, it's like extra work for me to do before I start the painting. The drawing and the sketch process, it kind of annoyed me for a long time, which is why I started to learn and practice and start to implement this tracing method that I kind of came up with on my own, but I'm sure a lot of other people do this as well. And the reason why I'm very highly opinionated that tracing is not cheating at all, and again, I'm hoping you guys will agree with me on this, is because you're still going to put in a lot of work on the painting part, right? The painting is what people are going to see as the big result, right? Like, I can show you 2 different paintings that I've done in the past. I can put them like side by side, and I will tell you straight up front, one of them I did completely freehand sketching before I painted it, and the other one I did tracing. I traced the whole thing before I painted it. Now, can you tell which one I actually did the sketch and which one I did the tracing? You can guess, and maybe you'll get lucky if you guess which one or not, but I will tell you, it was this one is the one I actually did the freehand sketching on, and then in contrast, this is the one I did the tracing on. So again, side by side, it's like you can't really tell whether I freehand sketched the sketch beforehand or if I traced my sketch beforehand, because you as the viewer, as even like a potential buyer, you guys, if you're someone who wants to like sell your work, you can totally trace before you paint, because again, this is something that I do, and as a viewer, as a potential buyer, if you were a buyer of my work, you can't tell the difference, right? You're just looking at the end result and you're thinking, this is what matters, is the end result, is the painting itself, the quality of the painting, not the quality of the preamble of the sketch, right? Nobody's going to know what your sketch looks like before you put the paint on it. So to actually go about tracing a picture to get your sketch going before you start painting, there are a couple different options you can do, and I've tried each of these, and I've experimented with all these. This is why I'm telling you these are my ideas that I came up with over time. The first way that I got into doing the tracing versus the freehand sketching was I just put a piece of paper, like drafting sketch paper, even printer paper, just some type of really thin paper that you can see through. I would put it on top of my laptop screen. And then I would pull up whatever my reference picture is that I'm working off of. And then from there, I would go on ahead and just trace the outline of the major lines, like the big lines that you know you're going to want to see as your blueprint before you start painting. You don't need to go over every tiny little singular, minuscule little line in there. It's just, again, a blueprint, a roadmap of letting you know where your painting is going to go. Because remember, we're not working on creating a big fancy drawing here. We're working on creating a big fancy painting. So the drawing does not have to be elaborate. The tracing does not have to be elaborate and, full out or anything. Now, once you've got that sketch out on paper that you might have traced from, like I said, I use my computer, my laptop screen. You could also use like iPad screens are pretty big these days, like tablets or something. Another screen that I started implementing when I was doing like larger size canvas pictures is a TV screen. It takes a little bit of tech knowledge to know how to display your reference picture the correct size on a TV screen. But if you can figure out how to do it, which I definitely have done in the past before, I will tell you that you can go on ahead and do that. And it's, again, the same thing. Just, you can even use like a little bit of tape and tape it to the screen. The only thing is when you're tracing over a screen, just make sure you're not like pressing so hard. But essentially, you guys, the screen is like a light box. We all know light boxes, and we all know that like professional drawers, you know, people who are drawing based artists, sketch artists, that they actually use light boxes to their advantage. So might as well, you can use a screen or a TV or something and just pull up your reference picture, and it's essentially like an enhanced light box for you to use. Now from there, once you've got your sketch onto paper, you can, and this is actually something that I did learn when I was taking a drawing class in school, is you can flip that paper over, put it up against like a window or against some type of like literally a light box, but I always used a window as an actual light box, and that's actually what I learned in school to do. And you can tape it up there if you want to, but then you kind of want to just darkly scribble along all of the lines that you see coming through the paper, so that then later on you can actually flip this paper over, put it on the canvas that you want to paint on, or if you're using thicker painting paper or just whatever, use your sketch paper and put it face up on that surface, and then from there trace over all of your lines again. And then it's gonna be like magic, you guys. When you pull the paper back, you're actually going to see your complete sketch underneath. Again, this is just something that I learned when I was actually taking drawing classes to get from, you know, a practice sketch to a more enhanced sketch, and to just keep transferring it from one paper to another and keep adding more details, erasing some details until you get the finished product that you want. But again, as painting artists, you're just going to want the very, very basic sketch to get your whole painting picture going. So this is a really, really great way to actually implement tracing. I know it's kind of a lot of steps, right? And you might think, well, freehand sketching is just faster for me, so why don't I just go ahead and do that? And if you are someone who is really, really well versed in sketching, you don't have to do this tracing at all. I'm just giving you an idea of an option, because personally for me, I find that this type of a tracing method, it goes so much faster. And that's another thing with the tracing that I'm like really passionate about, because as someone who personally sells my art online, like on Etsy, sometimes I have a lot of orders to fill in a small amount of time. Sometimes I have a lot of paintings that I want to get done, like my own personal schedule, in a small amount of time. Sometimes I have custom orders, right? I accept custom orders for like portraits, pet portraits, that sort of thing. Sometimes I have a lot of those like come in at once, and I've got to go. And I don't personally have the time to sit down and do like a free-handed sketch for each one of these pictures. It's a lot faster and a lot less like headache, honestly, for me to just sit down and do this tracing method for each one and transfer them onto canvas, and then boom, I'm ready to go and ready to start painting. That's the whole thing here, because as painting-based artists, if we are doing a painting, we don't need to focus on those heavy-handed details of drawing. We just need the basic sketch, and we just need it quickly and efficiently, right? So another way that you can actually go about tracing, and this is something I discovered a little bit more recently because I purchased a movie projector for myself. Yes, you heard it right, a movie projector. Because I found with this way, I can actually do things even more quickly, because I don't have to use transfer paper at all. You know, the sketch paper and then transferring it onto canvas. This way I can actually trace directly onto my canvas. And the way I do this is by pulling up my reference picture on the projector. And then it's a little bit of work. I kind of got to finagle the projector into place, like against the wall, so it's aiming at the right angle onto the floor. But then I put down the canvas that I'm working with, and then from there, again, I pull up that reference picture, and from there I can actually see all those sketch lines directly projected onto my canvas. And then from there I can trace those most prominent lines just as I would, you know, sketching on a screen like we showed earlier. It's the exact same process from here on out, except now when I turn the projector off and I step back, I'm going to have a full sketch already pre-made on my canvas. Now I'm going to be ready to start painting on my canvas right away. So, again, this is just kind of me showing you behind the scenes of my own artwork and like how I go about doing things. So it's a little bit personal. So don't, judge if you're like, oh my gosh, you don't like personally freehand sketch every single one of your paintings, like these ones I've got behind me. No, I do not. I do a lot of tracing. Every once in a while, I can still freehand sketch. I know I have that skill within me. I've used it many, many times before in the past. It's just the fact that tracing, you guys, it goes a lot quicker, especially for me, and it might for you as well. And it honestly kind of causes a little bit less heartache. It's a lot less effort that you got to put in. You can go straight into painting right away, which again, as painters, as painting-based artists, we're really focused and concerned on the big picture when it's all done, the big painting when it's all done. We're not really concerned about what the pre-sketch looks like, So again, this was a little bit of my, opinionated spiel or whatever. But again, this is also like a tutorial on how to actually trace your own paintings so that you can go on ahead and, actually start painting a lot faster. And if drawing and sketching is not your thing, this is one way to get into painting without having to do the drawing process. Because I can't even tell you how many times I've heard people tell me when they look at my artwork, they're like, oh, you must be so talented. I can't even draw a stick figure. Or people say to me, there's no way I could ever do any of your painting classes because I can't even draw a stick figure. I can't even. How many times have we heard that from other people who are not yet an artist themselves? I can't even draw a stick figure. Well, now you don't even have to draw a stick figure in order to create like gorgeous paintings just like these behind me, right? Because there are ways of getting there and not even having to draw before you can paint. You know how they say you gotta walk before you can run? Not so much with painting. You don't have to do the drawing before you can paint if you don't want to. So I hope you guys kind of enjoyed. Again, this was kind of a little bit of a spiel on my part. But again, a tutorial on how you can actually go about getting to the painting part and kind of fast forwarding through the sketch part a little bit faster. And again, I'm not saying in any way is drawing not an important skill, because it really is. And I think it is a really, really valuable thing that you should at least attempt to learn as an artist. But again, if you have tried to learn to draw and you're like, not my thing, try painting, try tracing, and then starting painting right away. You might find it's a lot easier for you, a lot less heartache, a lot less headaches, and that you might actually come to enjoy painting a little bit more. Because that's what this is all about, is just learning what works best for you so that you can enjoy what you love the most, which is painting. So, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, whatever if you want to. Check out some other videos I have here. And I will see you all next time in future painting tutorials and chats and such later. So, until then, my fellow artists.